Biology Part 71. Therefore, dissolved oxygen diffuses rapidly across the alveoli into the blood plasma and then into the interior of the red cells, where it combines with the hemoglobin, and the process of diffusion is assisted by the intimate contact between the walls of alveoli and blood capillaries described in our tutorial. Also by the concave shape of the red blood cells. This shape gives the red blood cells a particularly large surface area to volume ratio and promotes a rapid exchange of substances across the cell membrane. Interestingly, the biconcave shape also protects the red cells against rupture and hemolysis caused by the variation in osmotic concentration of the blood plasma. Cell membrane tear very easily if stretched, so that the spherical cell placed in a weak solution bursts instantly. However, because of its shapes, a red blood cell can take up water and swell, equalizing internal and external concentrations of the solution without unduly stretching its membrane. Therefore, red cells can tolerate an extended range of external concentration, although they do burst if placed directly in water. On leaving the lungs, the blood is almost completely saturated with oxygen and carries equivalent to 200 cubic centimeter of gaseous oxygen per liter. Only about 3 cubic centimeter of this is dissolved in plasma, the remainder being carried as oxyhemoglobin within the red cells. The normal PO2 in the lungs is well to the right of the plateau of the oxygen dissociation curve referred to the figure. Thus, if the level of PO2 falls, as often happens during exercise, the amount of oxygen carried by the blood is only slightly reduced. Oxygen supply to the tissues can easily be maintained by increasing the rate of blood flow through the lungs. The PO2 tissues is very variable in the ranges 1 to 4 kPa, depending on the oxygen demand. As oxygen is used up, the PO2 falls, causing oxyhemoglobin in the blood capillaries that dissociate. This releases additional oxygen which can be used by the tissue cells. Note that the lower levels of PO2 coincide with the steeper pops of the dissociation curve, as the slight reductions in PO2 cause the release of larger amounts of oxygen. Furthermore, the shape of curve is altered by pH, which falls in the presence of accumulating CO2, and by changes in temperature in such a way that rapidly respiring tissues receive maximum amount of oxygen from blood passing through. These relationships are illustrated in the figure. The effect of CO2 is called the Bohr effect after its discoverer. The mechanism responsible for this effect is explained in the next section. Transport of CO2. The transport of CO2 is closely linked to the transport of oxygen. The process is outlined in the figure. Produced in the tissue cells, dissolves in the tissue fluid and diffuses across the capillaries into the blood plasma and finally into the individual red cells. As already explained, CO2 reacts with water to form carbonic acid in the blood plasma.